Respect is not given because of your title. Respect is not given because you're the loudest in the room. Respect is earned by the way you carry yourself when life tries to shake you. And make no mistake, if you can't control your emotions, you will never be respected. Anybody can get angry. Anybody can explode when someone disrespects them. Anybody can let their feelings run wild. That doesn't take strength. That doesn't take character. That's easy. But it takes discipline to stay calm when chaos surrounds you. It takes courage to keep your composure when your pride wants to rise. It takes wisdom to hold your peace when your emotions are screaming for a reaction. That's where respect is born. See, people are always watching you. They're watching how you respond when things don't go your way. They're watching how you react when someone pushes your buttons. They're watching how you carry yourself under pressure. And if you're the one who loses control every time, if you're the one who shouts, who panics, who lashes out, they may fear you for a moment, but they'll never respect you. Respect doesn't come from fear, it comes from consistency. It comes from discipline. It comes from self-mastery. The truth is, when you can't control your emotions, you make yourself weak. You give other people the power to pull your strings, to push your buttons, to drag you into battles that don't matter. But when you are in control, when you decide, I will not be moved by your words, I will not be shaken by your actions, I will not give away my peace, you take that power back. That's what real strength looks like. Think about the great leaders, the great men and women of history. They weren't respected because they could shout louder than everyone else. They were respected because they had control, calm in crisis, steady in storms, strong enough to feel emotions, but disciplined enough not to be ruled by them. That kind of control makes people lean in. That kind of control makes people listen. That kind of control earns respect without you ever having to demand it. You want respect. Don't let your emotions run your life. Don't let anger speak for you. Don't let pride make your decisions. Don't let fear guide your steps. Control yourself. Master your reactions. Learn to be calm in the middle of chaos, steady in the face of disrespect, strong when everything is trying to break you. Because respect is not earned by noise. It's earned by discipline. And until you learn to control your emotions, you will always be controlled by them. Respect is born from discipline, not outbursts. When people look at you, they don't just hear your words, they watch your actions, they feel your energy, and they remember the way you carry yourself in moments of pressure. The easiest thing in the world is to let emotions take control. To snap back when someone disrespects you. To raise your voice when you feel ignored. To lash out when anger starts burning in your chest. That doesn't take strength. That doesn't take character. That's the natural human reaction. But the ones who are remembered, the ones who are admired, the ones who are respected, they are the ones who can feel the same emotions, but discipline themselves not to be mastered by them. Discipline is what separates a leader from a follower. A leader is not someone who simply takes charge, but someone who knows how to remain composed when others are panicking. Think about how people respond in a crisis. If a leader is shouting, losing control, letting emotions dictate decisions, the group will crumble. No one respects someone who is unstable. But if that leader stays calm, if they speak with clarity, if they move with control, everyone else finds strength in their steadiness. That is why respect is born out of discipline, not outbursts. Outbursts may get attention, but discipline earns admiration. When you let outbursts define you, people may fear you temporarily, but fear is not respect. Fear disappears the moment you're gone. Respect, on the other hand, lingers because it's connected to trust. And trust comes from consistency. People need to know that you won't fall apart under pressure, that you won't be driven by ego, that you won't let your emotions ruin the bigger picture. If they see you lose control over small things, why would they trust you with bigger responsibilities? But if they see you stand tall in storms, remain calm in conflict, and keep your composure when you're provoked. They can respect you because they know you are grounded. Discipline is not about ignoring your emotions, it's about mastering them. Everyone feels anger. Everyone feels frustration. Everyone feels pride. But not everyone learns how to control those feelings. The undisciplined mind reacts instantly, throwing words and actions into the world that cannot be taken back. The disciplined mind feels the same fire, but channels it into something productive. Instead of shouting, they speak with intent. Instead of rushing, they act with strategy. Instead of giving in to chaos, they steady themselves so they can lead through it. That's why discipline earns respect. It shows that you are bigger than your impulses, stronger than your emotions, and wise enough to choose control over reaction. Think about the people you personally admire. It's rarely the ones who explode at every small thing. It's rarely the ones who need to prove themselves through noise. It's the ones who move with quiet strength, who don't waste energy on petty arguments, who don't let their emotions betray their dignity. They don't need to demand respect because their discipline commands it without a single word. They could be tested, insulted, doubted, but their composure never cracks. That steadiness becomes their power, and people naturally respect power that isn't reckless but controlled. Discipline is also tied to vision. When you know where you're going, you don't let temporary emotions distract you. Outbursts are the language of someone living in the moment, reacting to whatever is right in front of them. Discipline is the language of someone who sees beyond the moment, who understands that one slip of the tongue, one angry reaction, one uncontrolled response could cost them opportunities, relationships, or even their reputation. Discipline values the long game over short-term release. It's choosing to remain calm today so you can protect the respect you will need tomorrow. And make no mistake, people test you intentionally. There will always be someone who wants to provoke you, someone who wants to see you lose control, someone who feeds off your outbursts. They know that if they can get under your skin, they can pull you out of character. And once you're out of character, your credibility weakens. That's why self-control is non-negotiable. Discipline shuts down manipulation. Discipline says, you cannot make me react. You cannot make me step out of myself. You cannot control me with my emotions. That level of composure disarms your enemies faster than any outburst could. There is a quiet kind of power in someone who doesn't respond the way others expect them to. Outbursts are predictable. Everyone knows what's coming. But discipline surprises people. They expect you to yell, but you stay calm. They expect you to fight, but you remain still. They expect you to fall apart, but you stand stronger. That unpredictability, that ability to control yourself when others can't, earns respect because it shows you live by principle, not impulse. Respect is not about proving you're the toughest, the loudest, or the most emotional. Respect is about proving you're the most disciplined. It's about showing that you can master yourself before you ever try to influence others. If you can't control your emotions, you can't control your future. And if you can't control your future, no one will trust you enough to respect you. But when discipline becomes your identity, when composure becomes your habit, when calm becomes your strength, you carry yourself in a way that demands respect without ever having to ask for it. Losing control gives others power over you. The moment you allow your emotions to dictate your response, you hand over the keys to your peace, your focus, and your strength. Think about it. If someone can say a single word, make one comment, or show one expression that pulls you out of character, then you are not in control anymore. They are. They don't even need to be stronger, smarter, or more capable than you. All they need to do is know where your buttons are, and the moment you let them push one, you've surrendered control. That is why emotional control is not just about personal peace. It is about protecting your power. People who understand how to manipulate emotions know this truth well. They don't need to fight you directly. They just need to get you to fight yourself. Anger clouds your judgment. Pride blinds your vision. Frustration distracts you from the bigger picture. If they can make you angry, they can make you careless. If they can make you prideful, they can make you reckless. If they can make you frustrated, they can make you quit. The battle is never really on the outside. The battle is inside. Losing that inner battle is how you give others authority over your choices. When you lose control, your opponent doesn't even need to defeat you. You defeat yourself. You say things you didn't mean. You do things you later regret. You burn bridges you still needed to cross. And worst of all, you prove to them that they can control you anytime they want. If they can trigger you once, they can trigger you again, and the cycle continues until you no longer move by your own decisions, but by the strings they pull. That is the danger of letting emotions lead you. True strength lies in restraint. A person who can be provoked but refuses to be moved is more powerful than someone who explodes at every challenge. Why? Because restraint means ownership. Restraint means you decide how you show up, not the circumstances around you. Losing control shows weakness because it says the outside world is stronger than your inner discipline. But maintaining control says, I am stronger than anything you throw at me. And strength, when it is consistent, always earns respect. Think about moments when someone has tried to get under your skin. Maybe it was in an argument, maybe in the workplace, maybe in your personal life. If you reacted instantly, if you let anger or pride speak for you, it might have felt good in the moment, but afterward, what did you really gain? Most likely, you gave them exactly what they wanted, a reaction. But when you didn't react, when you kept your calm, when you walked away or answered with composure, they lost the power they thought they had. Silence can be louder than shouting. Composure can be stronger than confrontation. In refusing to lose control, you win a battle they never expected you to win. There is also a deeper danger in losing control. It distracts you from your purpose. You cannot build a future while constantly defending yourself against small provocations. You cannot stay focused on your goals if every insult, every doubt, every criticism pulls you off course. Losing control keeps you trapped in the moment, and the moment is often a trap set by someone who doesn't want to see you grow. Every reaction costs energy, and the more you spend on meaningless conflicts, the less you have left for meaningful progress. The world is full of people who never reach their potential, not because they lack talent, but because they wasted their energy on battles that weren't worth fighting. Control is not about pretending you don't feel. It's not about ignoring your emotions or pretending they don't exist. Control is about mastering your response to them. Anger can be fuel if it is directed with discipline. Pain can be strength if it is transformed with patience. Frustration can be progress if it is channeled into action. But without control, those same emotions will destroy you. They will turn you into a puppet, reacting instead of leading, surviving instead of building. Control gives you choice. Control gives you freedom. Control keeps your power in your own hands. And here's the reality people respect: the one who cannot be easily moved. They admire the person who stays steady in storms, who doesn't flinch under pressure, who doesn't give away their emotions to anyone who demands them. When you can't be controlled through provocation, you earn a kind of respect that fear or noise can never achieve, because people see that you are not only strong on the outside, you are unshakable on the inside. So every time you feel yourself about to lose control, remember what's really at stake. It's not just about the moment. It's about your power, your peace, your progress. Every time you hand over control, you give someone else authority over your life. But every time you keep control, you remind the world and yourself that your emotions belong to you, not to them. That is the difference between being manipulated and being respected. That is the difference between living as a reaction and living with intention. Calm in chaos earns more respect than loud reactions. Anyone can make noise when the pressure rises. Anyone can throw words, raise their voice, and let frustration spill into the room. That's easy because it takes no discipline to lose control. But the one who stays calm when everything is breaking apart, the one who keeps composure when emotions are running high, the one who chooses silence over shouting, this is the person who stands out because calm is rare and rare is always respected. Chaos reveals character. When everything is smooth, anyone can look strong. When the waters are still, anyone can appear composed. But storms show who you really are. Pressure exposes your foundation. The moment life gets heavy, the truth comes out. Loud reactions prove instability, but calm in the middle of chaos proves mastery. It shows that your strength is not dependent on circumstances, but rooted in something deeper: discipline, wisdom, and focus. People naturally look to those who are steady. Imagine being in a crisis. Panic in the room, fear in every face, voices raised, confusion everywhere. Who do people turn to? Not the one shouting louder than everyone else, not the one running around with no direction. They turn to the person who is calm, because calm brings clarity, and clarity brings leadership. Calm is a stabilizer, and in chaos, people respect those who can bring stability. A loud reaction may feel powerful in the moment, but it rarely produces respect. Shouting may silence people temporarily, but silence born from fear is not respect. It is only submission. Respect is not about forcing people to obey you. It is about showing them you are worthy of trust. And trust is earned when people see you can keep your head when others lose theirs. Trust is earned when people see you won't let emotions destroy reason. Trust is earned when people see that chaos doesn't break you, it sharpens you. Calm doesn't mean you ignore the storm. Calm doesn't mean responsibility. And responsibility will never be handed to someone who crumbles under pressure. It will always be given to the one who stays calm, because calm means reliability. Think about the greatest leaders, the ones history remembers. They were not remembered for shouting in panic. They were remembered for staying calm when the world fell apart. Calm gave them the ability to think clearly, to lead wisely, and to inspire others to hold steady. Their presence alone brought assurance to those around them. That's the power of calm. It doesn't just protect you, it strengthens everyone connected to you. And that power is what earns respect. Loud reactions are predictable. Everyone knows how anger looks, how fear looks, how panic looks. But calm is unpredictable, and that unpredictability makes it powerful. When people expect you to fall apart, but you stand strong. When they expect you to shout, but you remain silent. When they expect you to lose focus, but you keep steady. That contrast shocks people, and that shock turns into admiration. Calm is not weakness. Calm is controlled strength. Controlled strength always commands more respect than uncontrolled noise. Chaos will always come in one form or another. Life will test you with storms, with disrespect, with losses, with setbacks. Each moment will give you a choice. Will you react loudly, or will you stand calmly? Every time you choose calm, you reinforce the respect others have for you. Because respect doesn't come from proving you're the loudest. It comes from proving you're the most disciplined. And discipline is proven in chaos, not comfort. The calm one holds the real authority, even when they say nothing. Their presence speaks louder than arguments. Their stillness speaks louder than shouting. In chaos, people search for an anchor. And the anchor is always the one who remains unshaken. That is why calm in chaos earns more respect than loud reactions. Because calm is power under control, and nothing commands greater respect than a person who cannot be broken by the storm around them. Not every battle deserves your reaction. Life will present you with countless opportunities to engage in conflict, countless invitations to step into arguments, countless traps that look like they need your attention, but only exist to drain your energy. Some people will provoke you just to see if they can get a rise out of you. Some situations will tempt you to fight back because your pride feels wounded. Some words will sting so deeply that silence feels like surrender. But wisdom teaches that not every confrontation is worth your time, And maturity teaches that silence can be more powerful than any reaction. Every reaction costs energy. Every time you answer an insult, every time you argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you, every time you let anger dictate your next move, you are spending energy that could have been invested in something greater. Think about how much progress has been delayed because people were too busy fighting battles that didn't matter. Think about the time wasted proving points to people who never cared about the truth. Every unnecessary battle is a thief, stealing moments you can never get back. The question is never just whether you can win the battle. It's whether the battle was worth fighting in the first place. There is strength in knowing when to walk away. Walking away does not mean you are weak. It means you are wise enough to see that your energy has value. You cannot chase every voice, you cannot answer every critic, and you cannot fight every fight. If you try, you will exhaust yourself, not because life was too heavy, but because you were carrying loads that were never yours to carry. Discipline is not just about controlling your emotions, it's about directing your energy toward what actually builds you. And most of the battles people try to drag you into are designed to break you, not build you. The truth is, some battles are not about you at all. They are projections of other people's pain, insecurity, or envy. When someone attacks you with words, often it is not because of who you are, but because of what they lack. They lash out because they are unsettled within themselves. If you react to them, you are letting their brokenness dictate your behavior. You are allowing their chaos to create chaos in you. But when you choose not to engage, you remind yourself that their storm does not have to become your storm. You cannot control their words, but you can control your peace. That is the kind of restraint that earns respect. Not every battle deserves your reaction, because reactions can become distractions. You have a purpose, a mission, a vision for your life. But the more you get pulled into petty fights, the less focus you have for your true path. Some people will intentionally try to distract you because they fear what you could accomplish if you stayed focused. They know they can't beat your discipline, your work ethic, or your purpose, so they try to bait you into meaningless conflict. If you take the bait, you slow yourself down. If you stay silent, you stay ahead. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. Strategy knows that you don't win wars by fighting every skirmish. You win by protecting your energy for the battles that matter most. Think of the greatest victories in life. They were not won by people who argued with every critic or clapped back at every insult. They were won by people who kept their eyes on their vision, who refused to be distracted by small voices, who saved their energy for the fights that actually shaped their future. That's the mindset you need. Not every battle is worth your reaction. You don't have to respond to gossip. You don't have to answer doubt. You don't have to fight for validation. You don't need to prove yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. The greatest proof is in your progress, and progress only happens when you stay focused. Walking away requires strength because it means silencing the ego. The ego always wants to respond. The ego always wants to be right. The ego always wants to have the last word. But wisdom sees beyond ego. Wisdom says, if I fight here, I lose something greater. Wisdom values peace over pride. That is why walking away is not weakness. It is power. Power is not always shown in how hard you fight, but in how wisely you choose. Your reaction is your choice, and choice is where true control lies. People may expect you to fight every time, but if you remain calm, you break their expectations. People may hope you waste time proving yourself, but if you stay focused, you deny them that victory. People may insult you, but if you stay silent, you show them that their words have no weight in your world. That kind of control cannot be faked. It comes from discipline, from vision, from the understanding that not every battle deserves to be fought. And the more you practice this restraint, the more untouchable you become. Respect follows self-control, not fear. Many people confuse fear with respect because, on the surface, They can look the same. When someone raises their voice, others may grow quiet. When someone lashes out, others may step back. When someone leads with intimidation, people may follow, but only because they are afraid of the consequences, not because they genuinely admire the person in front of them. Fear is temporary, fragile, and shallow. Respect, on the other hand, runs deep. It does not disappear when the person leaves the room. It does not collapse when authority is removed. Respect is rooted in trust, and trust is only built on self-control. A person who cannot control their emotions can never truly be respected. They may be feared for their temper. They may be avoided because of their unpredictability. They may even get compliance from people who don't want to cross them. But respect requires something greater than force. It requires consistency. People need to know that you will not fall apart under pressure, that you will not let anger make your decisions, that you will not allow your pride to ruin the bigger picture. When they see that you have control over yourself, they can trust you. And where trust grows, respect follows. Fear creates distance. People may obey someone they fear, but they will never willingly give loyalty or admiration. They will do the minimum required to stay safe, but they will never invest their full effort. Respect does the opposite. When someone respects you, they listen to your words, they value your presence, and they give more of themselves because they believe in your steadiness. That steadiness only comes from self-control. When you can face challenges without losing yourself, when you can be provoked without breaking character, when you can lead without letting emotions cloud your vision, people see you as dependable, and dependability always earns respect. Think about the difference between a loud reaction and a calm response. Loud reactions are born out of emotion. They may feel strong, but they rarely build trust. A calm response, however, shows thought clarity and control. People respect the one who can remain steady in storms more than the one who reacts impulsively. Respect is not about the volume of your voice, but the consistency of your character. Anyone can make noise, few can remain calm. And the ones who remain calm earn a level of respect that noise will never bring. Self-control also sends a powerful message. It shows that you cannot be manipulated. When others know they can push your buttons, they don't respect you, they control you. They know all it takes is the right insult, the right provocation, the right test, and you'll abandon your discipline. But when you show restraint, when you refuse to give them the reaction they want, you prove that your emotions are not in their hands. That independence, that inner strength, commands respect because it shows true mastery. People respect the one who cannot be shaken, who cannot be baited, who cannot be broken by words or actions designed to provoke them. Self-control is also the foundation of influence. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead others. People follow examples more than commands. When they see you choose peace over pride, patience over impulse, discipline over reaction, they admire it. They may not always say it out loud, but inside, they recognize strength. That recognition grows into trust, and trust matures into respect. Fear may get quick results, but it will never create loyal followers. Only respect built on self-control can do that. There's another truth about fear. It disappears when power shifts. If people only follow you because they are afraid of what you can do to them, the moment your position changes, the moment you no longer have authority, their fear vanishes. And with it, any influence you thought you had. But respect outlasts titles, positions, and circumstances. A person respected for their self-control will be remembered even when they no longer hold authority, because respect is tied to character, not to power. And character is permanent. The world is full of people trying to demand respect through force, but force cannot create what only discipline can. Fear may silence people, but it will never inspire them. Fear may keep people close, but it will never make them loyal. Fear may bring obedience, but it will never bring admiration. Respect follows self-control because self-control proves strength. Not strength in noise, not strength in domination, but strength in restraint, strength in patience, strength and consistency. When you choose self-control, you rise above the temporary satisfaction of reacting and step into the lasting influence of respect. People see that you are not mastered by your emotions, and that mastery makes you trustworthy. Trust makes you dependable. Dependability makes you respected, and respect will take you further than fear ever could.